the hardest part so far hasn't been the idea as a whole. It's been the work that I'm not good at. I know, who would have thought? But coming into this as an artist, as a videographer, as someone who graduated from university with a degree in digital media, I love building things. I love making art in whatever form it is. I literally have create tattooed on my left wrist. And I have this very strong foundation that I'm very confident in. And when I started doing this, I thought that that could carry what I'm making a long way. However, I've quickly realized that equally as important, if not even more important, at the stage we're in, is this back end side, this coding side that I don't have a lot of knowledge of. So when I realized that early on, my first instinct was to put a feeler out there on social media and see if anyone was interested in helping me develop something and making something cool. So after I put out a post, I deleted it right away. Within 20 minutes, I had a flooded inbox. I didn't open my LinkedIn for, I want to say, over a month. It was a lot. And I spoke to a few referrals I got off of that post. I spoke to a couple people I got a good vibe from that just simply reached out. And unfortunately, there wasn't as much of a click with the people I spoke to as I would have wanted to, which is okay. And I also realized that early on, I kind of had two options. Give someone a lot of equity in a company that isn't much right now, but could be something later, or pay someone a lot of money right now. And both were options I didn't really want to follow through on, given the stage that things are in. So I decided to take the slightly harder, slightly slower path and learn for myself. So honestly, since I've started learning code, it is a lot more fun than people might believe it to be or make it out to be. And it's been really interesting trying to go through this process and learn how this stuff actually works. But it's also forced me to be very selective and very specific about what I'm creating. Because, well, in my mind and on a piece of paper, I have a lot of ideas. There are a lot of ways I can go with this, but I can't code everything. So I'm focused on selecting very, very specific parts of a broader idea to make one thing work, one part of it real, enough for people to experience it, people to interact with it, and get a sense of what it actually is that I'm trying to create. Now, since I've been chipping along, working day after day on this project, it became apparent pretty fast that a cease and desist was probably on the horizon for the name I had chosen for this business. Now, shout out to a certain AI video gen platform out there that, truthfully, I don't know how I didn't see coming. But yeah, I needed to change it, and I needed to find something new that worked. So I had to take a big step away from the developing side of things, which I didn't exactly want to do, but it needed to happen to prevent issues down the line. And the search this time was a lot more challenging than from the start, because now the name has to fit everything that's been built so far instead of starting from scratch. So many names later, I settled on something that I really liked, and then I had to go back through. I had to adjust all the back-end code to fit that name so that things aren't weird down the line. And then I had to go through all the other, let's say, tedious parts, like finding and registering a domain, setting up email, all that kind of stuff. And that brings me to the biggest issue that I've been facing along this whole journey, honestly, is this 4-day wall I've been fighting with every single day, where I have something functioning here locally on my computer. It works for me very well, but I can't figure out how to share it with other people. It's like being in the kitchen, you discover the world's most perfect cookie recipe. You can only eat so many cookies for yourself before you want everyone else to start trying these cookies. And that's where I'm at. I feel really happy with how everything is, but I'm going in a loop trying to figure out how to share it with other people. And I think we're getting closer and closer every time. So I'm convinced that even if we are doing loops, if one line of code is better each time we go around, then eventually that wall will fall down and we'll move forward. Everything will be okay. So that's currently what I'm fighting with right now. It's definitely frustrating because it's impossible to move on without being able to share it with other people. So it needs to get done and it needs to work properly. But yeah, you can't really avoid the things you're not good at when it's the only thing in the way of where you're trying to go. So definitely moving slower than I planned to, but that's okay. And yeah, this is where we're at right now.